Hello, my name's Stephen from K-Scale Models, and today I'm going to do a video on the Leo HMG that I designed for Twitch. So if you're unaware, I stream me building models on Twitch. Most of the time what I'll be doing is I will be actually designing models that I'll then 3D print and paint up. I haven't painted this one up and I probably won't do it on stream yet. But this is it all now complete and it will be going up for download shortly as of recording, but by the time this is out you will be able to download it yourself. So let's just go over the inspiration for this, because this is kind of an odd gun when it comes to Gundam. Normally you don't see something like this, but there is one show that you do, and someone picked it up when I posted it online, and that's this thing from Gundam X. It's a sort of squad automatic weapon or support weapon. Let's get a better picture of that. So there, that is what it looks like in the concept art up close and personal. So a couple of things to note, and this is something I didn't realize when I was first making this. You see here in this picture, this rifle is actually in line with the chest of the mobile suit. Now that's really good for a stability point of view, because you've got all that mass of the mobile suit behind it, so that it kind of absorbs the recoil. So to allow it to do this, it's actually got two triggers, one for each hand, so the way it's holding it. So again, that adds to stability, and you'll see from when I go back to mine, it's not got that. It's also got some bipods at the front that can fold up, so that's pretty neat. Big drum magazine in the bottom, little scope on top, and a long barrel. So yeah, this is a very different weapon than what you normally see in Gundam. Normally you see like some sort of 105mm machine gun or something like that, or big beam rifle, but you never see some sort of automatic squad support weapon. It's kind of redundant in a mobile suit, but most things are. So that was my initial inspiration for this thing. So I took that and I started off with the body of a 50 cal machine gun. I made it to part of a Leo machine gun barrel. So if you're unfamiliar, oh no, not that one, that one. So yeah, that front bit there is essentially that. I've made more grooves in it because this is a longer barrel, but I've kept quite a few of the design aesthetics from the Leo in that. The front post here has got a bipod leg, just like in this picture here. So I've made my own. I've had these sort of tubular bits where you can sort of, it looks like you could twist this and slide this in and out and then twist it to sort of lock it. So I've made a deployed and undeployed version. That's the deployed, that's the undeployed. So you can pose it in either way. These bits will not move. There's just no way I've got, oh, you can 3D print that sort of thing. This is already quite thin and delicate as it is, so yeah. Now, when I was like drawing this all up on stream, I had a realization. The diameter of this barrel here is 13 inches. 13 inches is naval caliber main gun weapons. So that's like a pre-dreadnought battleship grade weapon. So I took that and took the length of what I knew of a pre-dreadnought battleship and like main weapon, and that's how I came to this length. So a bit of history behind that. So just going to move back to the body. We've got the cocking handle, so this is very much like the M2 Browning. We've got an ejection port. Now on the M2 it's just a open bolt that flies back, but I want to give it a bit of feature where it can drop the ammunition down rather than spinning it out into God knows what. But remember, this is a 13-inch cannon. If that thing, just the shell hits something, that's going to cause damage. Let's just go with sort of shoulder plate here. It's just fairly straightforward. This is what it looks like without the like plate, and I was using this particular one as a test to see like where it lines up. So yeah, that's what this was. So the next thing to move on to is the scope. Now you'll notice in this particular one the scope is detachable and wasn't actually fitted on. That's because when I came to actually do this, like print it out, the first one, I found that this bit in here, there to there, was just so thin it was snapping. So rather than have a bit that was like a known failure point, I just combined the whole lot. It's not going to cause any issues when printing. This is fairly like easy to print. So just on the scope itself, the inspiration for that came from this, the beam rifle the Leo gets in space most of the time. I think it's called the Colonial Beam Rifle, but I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments below if I get it wrong. So that's where this bit came from, the big scope on top. Then I thought, well, if this is a battleship battleship grade cannon, then it might have one of these coincidental rangefinder on it. So what coincidental rangefinder is it's two scopes or two mirrors that basically you can change the angle on. So you are trying to get on the picture like the two parts of the image over each other exactly. Once you've done that, a bit of trigonometry later, and you can work out the distance between here and your target all the way down range. So I thought that was a nice idea. I don't think Gundam Wing has any problems with Minovsky particles or GN particles or N-jammer cancellers or whatever. So these are probably not needed, but as I was working with a battleship grade cannon, I thought I might as well just do it. So yeah, the original idea was to have that scope fully detachable, as I said, and the idea behind that was that this is very much a product of Gundam Wing, so it might be more thematically appropriate for other mobile suits to have different ones. Now that just brings me onto the handle quickly. This handle will fit near any current high grade. So there shouldn't be any issue with you fitting this to other mobile suits rather than just the Leo if you have something else. Next, I'm just going to go into the magazines. So you can see here there's quite a few. So this one is the one that's actually attached to the weapon. So there's just a peg in there. This one, well, these two are basically just the handle folded and rounds hanging out. So, yeah, I made them on disintegrating links. They're not perfect, but at this size, you kind of need to do things this way just to get it to work. But yeah, I was also thinking of trying to make different types of rounds, but I've ended up just going with some sort of armor-piercing round. Now, another thing I was thinking of doing with these is I was thinking of having some way of mounting it to the mobile suit. Now, I could make a mount point for the Leo. That would be easy enough. There's enough space on the Leo's hips for it to work. But, well, this isn't just for the Leo. So I didn't want to go make something that would make it impossible to fit it to another mobile suit. So I'm going to leave that up to you and your modelling skills to take this and fit it to the sides or the back of any other sort of mobile suit. Now, there's one last one here, and that's just with the handle out. So, just quickly go grab the picture of this thing. So, yeah. You can see here that handle does fit into the Leo's hand fine. So, yeah, you can easily use that. You can see here it all fits in nicely, and that's nice and snug up against the actual Leo's shoulder. So yeah, so that's like my idea on how I designed this and my thoughts on it. After I did this, I was having to think of what's the in-universe justification for this thing. This thing is ridiculous. Like, this is not how the Leo is meant to operate. It's not meant to hunker down behind a pile of rubble and spray heavy machine gun rounds at people. Well, you see, the thing is with Gundam Wing is the Gundams. The Leo fights these things on a regular basis and loses badly. However, the Gundams don't really have many ranged weapons, so you've got heavy arms with its big Gatling cannon, and the Wing Zero with its massive beam rifle. Okay, the Death Sight's got its weird thing, it shoots out of its arm. The Sandrock's got an Uzi, and Shenlong, or whatever he's calling it these days, has a flamethrower. But you notice with some of these, they're like 3 out of 4 of them, 3 out of 5 of them have got fairly limited range weapons. So the ideal way of dealing with these things is to sit back at range and plink away at them. The problem is the Leo just doesn't have the firepower to put one of these things down. Now, the way that Gundanium armour works is it's supposed to nullify the beam weapons. I can't remember all the pseudoscience behind it. So really, you're not wanting to hit this thing with a beam weapon, you're wanting to hit this thing with a kinetic round. And guess what? That's the big kinetic round. That's a 13-inch kinetic round. Hero is going to feel that if you hit the Gundam with it. So that was my sort of idea for in-universe justification. 1 year war kicks off, the Eve War kicks off. The Gundams have dropped onto Earth. Oz, Romanfell, whoever are trying to work out how to deal with these things, and they're like, okay, we need a big gun. Well, we can't really have a big gun that the Leo can carry. It's just not designed to carry that big a weapon, so it's got to be deployable. So this thing's got to be fired from the prone position. So my thought would be you have a couple of these set up to cover a kill zone, and then a bunch of other Leos go out, draw the Gundam into range of these things, because remember, Gundams are basically close range fighters, but if you draw them into the open and these things are in range to take a whack at it, well, you're probably going to get a couple of penetrations, and what, the Gundam's going to go back to base and repair? It doesn't have a base, so you've basically mission killed the Gundam, and that means that the Gundam pilot's kind of not even pilot anymore. So yeah, that was my thought, is they could use these as pairs. There'd be a couple of suits like manning the gun, one with ammo, one with the actual gun, and yeah, use it to kill one of the Gundams. So that's my thought and how I designed all this. So I hope you found this interesting. The links for this will be in the description. It's a free to download model. Anything I design and make on Twitch will be one of these models that you can go download yourself and make. So thank you for watching.